Alright, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Welcome to Dragon Force Racing League, DFRL's Season 9, Race 3, and on to the South American continent and into Brazil this evening. Just waiting on the last couple of minutes until we go green into the session for tonight. Short qualifying, 18 minutes, followed by 36 laps around the Brazilian Sao Paulo circuit. Wow, we've got a good race coming up tonight. 2 races down in the season so far, and well, it couldn't be tighter at the top of the table. It does mean we're in for quite a good season as we're lined up so far, but obviously very early on as well indeed, so anything can happen. However, an instant even now at this point in the championship could determine the results later on in the season. Just 12 race calendar season, so they're going to come thick and fast over the coming weeks every Monday night at 8 PM. Just going to have a quick look at the standings then after the last race, just while I'm loading that one up. Just a slight word, obviously majority of you have seen now that Sir Frank Williams, the founder and owner of the Williams Formula 1 racing team with such good success, especially in the 90s, has sadly passed away. I do believe it was yesterday morning if I'm not mistaken, and a lot of thoughts going out to Sir Frank Williams for that. We will be doing a slight tribute this evening, so majority of drivers will have some form of blue through their helmet, and the majority have managed to get their car numbers changed to the number 79 for the years of glory that Frank has shown in this wide world. And also, as we follow out into the session, when we do load in and the first car hits the track, rather than talking our way around, we will just have a momentary silence from my point of view, just as a little bit of a grievance of the great loss from the Formula 1 calendar and seeing him at the races. Obviously we haven't seen him for a little while as well with the COVID situation that is out at loom at the moment, but hopefully the family will have a lot of support, and Deputy Principal Claire Williams, who is now I believe stepped down after Capito have taken over, will I'm sure be away for the remainder of the season while they mourn the loss of her father. So, more to that soon. In terms of the driver stand, just as we see the drivers starting to ready up for qualifying, Donald Jun in the Alfa Romeo is leading points with 27 points at the minute and a win to his name. Closely followed by I Am Zach in the Williams, 25 points and a win in the first round of the season. And then Bills in the Mercedes on 24 points, just 1 point back. 5th place, Jimmy, who is a reserve driver for the season, on 19 points. Zenix Josh in the Alpine on 18, with Alex Ham, Dan Murphy joint on 18 points there. So good little battle already starting to appear. And then from 15th down to 23rd, there are a few reserve drivers in there, guys, so please be aware, are all on 0 points. So good chance to score today on what I personally find is one of my favourite circuits. In the team standings then, obviously 2 to a team, and we've had full grid each week, so everyone gets a good chance to score. Alfa Romeo topping the table on 45 points and that 1 win. Red Bull in second place with 38 points, and that's without a win to the name, so good teamwork by the Red Bull boys so far. Williams in third on 26 with a win to the name. Mercedes in fourth on 24 points, and just McLaren there at the bottom of the grid, still to get off the mark at the moment. We'll try and keep an eye on the standings as we go through the race, see how the drivers are getting on, see if anyone can throw a surprise today, as we see the drivers will now be in their garages getting ready for this evening's race, preparing their race car setups and any final tweaks, as they will be in the Parc Fermé when they do leave their garages this evening. First car's just about to head out, so what we can do is ride on board with the car. I'm hoping it is a car that has managed to get set for this event. Let's have a little look what we got. There we go then. So first one out is Louis B in the Alfa Romeo. Only Alfa Romeo I can see at this moment in time. And I'm just going to take a slight silence then as the first initial cars go around. And there we are, number 79 and a blue helmet there as we ride on board with Dillonish. Okay then, right, these guys have gone around, slight bit of a pause there, thank you very much everyone. As we follow on board then, we are with Dillonish at the minute, but first driver out on the flying lap is Lou B, so we're just going to catch up with him for the time being as we follow around. As if he can keep it valid, it will be the initial pace. It is quite a hard track to get the corners right. Just to say that, Louis B probably not going to thank me later on for joining him at that particular point. So then, ZX Josh will be the first one to make a crack at pole position for this evening as we ride on board with the Red Bull driver, heading into the final sector, the last corner here. So important to get a good exit. Purple in the second sector and all the way up the hill using ERS is in hot lap, and DRS there wide open and trying to keep it as short as possible, tuck it into the inside line and across the line. The initial pace of 108.2. I'm sure we'll see that time drop very dramatically pretty soon. We've got one of the Mercedes coming up to the last sector. No, we haven't. To do apologise. On with Nathaniel Perrin then in the Mercedes, heading into the final part of the lap. 108.1 just been posted for Alex Ham in the AlphaTauri to take provisional pole for the time being. Don't be surprised to see a high 106 or very low 107 by the back end of this qualifying session by someone. 107.7 there for Nathaniel Perrin on his first flying lap and provisional pole sitter for the time being. The second Red Bull just going over the line. Is that McLaren coming over the line there? It certainly is. It is Kimi and up to second place, which is now third. Keon Stevens over the line, 107.1, 5,000 slower than Jimmy PSV, and Corbett riding on board with the end of his lap there, 108.7 on that initial lap. Your boy Bizon is not that Ferrari, it's KXI coming over the line. Has not posted a lap. I don't know if that was an invalidated lap on that occasion, but we'll catch up with him a little bit later on. Who else have we got on a lap at the moment? Spencer Milton is going through the Senna S's, not yet posted time. Let's have a look. So KXI gone purple in the first sector. Let's ride on board with KXI then for the remainder of his lap. Been very strong in the first few races, and certainly a challenger for later on in the season. His consistency is key. Over speed and power. Hopefully he can get a good start today and a good strategy, see him up the field for this evening. Nice and tight there into the apex, and looks like he's got a very stable setup through the corners. So he heads into the last corner. Can he get a good drive off? Certainly can. Just using a little bit of the exit curb, a little bit more in that if he does want to play with it. And full power. DRS wide open as he crosses the line, tuck it in, and as he comes over the line, what is the initial pace from KXI? Puts him into third at 107.5, so around 4/10 to the leaders to find. Right then, Spencer Milton just heading up to the line now. 108.8, so a little bit off the pace on this initial lap, and is that one of the Alpines on a lap at the moment? No, it is one of the Mercedes guys. Who is that out there? Or is that Casey? No, apologies, it is an Alpine of Casey. Is he on a hot lap at the minute? Doesn't look like it for the time being, so we'll catch up with him a little bit later on. Your boy Bizen, just heading up to the line, 109.0. I'm sure he might have a little bit left in the tank, so initial pace there for him at 109.0, and certainly a little bit of work to do. Now a couple of tenths there will already shoot him up a few places if he can find that. Let's see how he's looking at the end of the first sector. Yeah, 0.6 slower than his previous attempt, so I will presume he's heading into the pit lane at this moment in time. A yellow flag in sector 2 and 3. It is one of the Ferraris. I believe it's KXI, and I do think he is just getting out of the way. Yeah, he was just getting out of the way of another driver at that point. Alright, who else have we got? KXI's heading into the pits. KC, we believe, yeah, also going into the pit. So a lot of these drivers now have done their initial lap. Just trying to catch who is going to be next out there. Your boy Bizen, we don't believe to be on a lap. Okay, so that would make the Red Bull of Pori Panzetto 108.3 on a lap at the minute, 6.5 seconds slower than his initial pace. So I would take a wild gamble that he's not going to be setting a lap on this occasion. Is he heading into the box, in fact? Yes, he is. Very, very odd. He's on an initial lap there, unless he has just set that lap time. And Red Bull round there of Zenix Josh. Looks like he had just started the lap there as he entered turn 1. Going to take a wild presumption that he was pulled in by the curb, but now going to have to go round again. Let's ride on board with Alex Ham then in the number 79 once again car, and in the AlphaTauri for this evening. See if luck can go Alex's way for this season. Good evening, Keon. Good to see you again. Where are we placed at the minute? Second place, 5 thousandths of a second. You're going to find that 5 thousandths for us. I'll keep an eye out for you heading out to see if you can challenge and retake that top spot for the grid this evening. So Alex Ham just coming around the back end of the middle sector. All the cars are getting well out of the way, although plenty of traffic for Alex to keep an eye on. Even when the cars do get out of the way, it can cause you a little bit of time, a tenth here or there, where you might be a little bit hesitant to pass. And Alex Ham then heading down the main straight. What is the time going to be? Time improvement, it's 107.9 there, so a tenth and a half quicker than his last attempts. Puts him up another place in the order, as Kimi now slipping down the order from his initial run, so I'm sure we'll see him out a little bit later on. Meanwhile, his teammate Viper is on a lap, heading through the final sector. Not got time on the board yet, so let's see what he can do. A little bit wide there, almost a bit of oversteer and a little bit of a kick there from the car. And 1:10.4, not representative, and I'm sure we'll see him post a better time later on in this session. Okay then, our provisional pole sitter then, Jimmy PSV, has just started a lap, so we'll catch up with him in a few minutes time. I am Zach then, so heading around the final part now. It is an invalidated lap, so we'll catch up with Zach a little bit later on, and we believe Alex to be on his way in. Now then, Zenix Josh had that spin on the start of his other lap. He's in fact bailed on this lap as well. Maybe he just wasn't close enough to his time that he wanted, so we'll see him out later on. Norsley there on an invalidated lap, a 108.5 as best at the moment. Who has just jumped up the order there? Pro Stevie has just jumped up in the Haas, so 107.9 from down the back of the grid. Certainly made a good jump up there and found around second. And the Haas drivers there driving together, which is quite nice to see. and a little bit of traffic as well. Who was that diving past? It was one of the AlphaTauris. It was Spencer. No, it wasn't Spencer, my apologies. It was Corby. And he was also on a lap. Did one of those Haas drivers impede him? Now, it wouldn't be the first time we've heard that in Formula 1. But we will see. Knowlesley on the way into the pits as Knowlesley teammate Casey just coming up towards the line. Can he improve on a 107.653? He doesn't on this occasion. He in fact wasn't on a push lap, so let's see if he is on a push lap now. Yeah, it certainly looks so he is through his DRS usage, and DRS wide open as he heads down into turn 4. Good overtaking opportunities here, but the curbs really can catch you out, especially on those used tyres, so we'll see how we get on through this evening's race. Hi Maz, nice to see you online once again. Keon saying, feels like we're here again tomorrow. Yes, Shadow Wolf are racing Brazil tomorrow night, matey. So just think your head's up on me because you get practice tonight, so you should beat me tomorrow, if you're lucky. Anyway, back to it for this evening's race 3 as we're riding on board with Casey Jennett in the Alpine, challenging for pole position. He's got about half a second to find two of the leaders. Can he find it on this lap? Let's wait and see. Final little kink, and he's straight across the line. A slight improvement, 0.2 improvement there to 107.4, but doesn't improve his position at this moment in time. KXI then coming up, and he is bailing on this particular lap. Keon Stevenson is out and on a lap. He's currently 5,000 short of the pole position time set by Jimmy in the Mercedes, and in fact it looks like he might have backed off a little bit there. In fact, yeah, he has backed off, so maybe we'll see Keon go for another lap shortly. I'm Zach then. Where are we? We are on track in the Williams, and nice to be in the Williams tonight. Sir Frank Williams will be remembered for a very long time with the iconic name in Formula 1, and as a personal owned team rather than a constructor based team, probably the most recognisable name within Formula 1. There we are, purple in the second sector there for I'm Zach, 0.3 quicker than he's gone so far. If he can continue that pace, it would jump him ahead of the Alpine of Casey. What can he do as he comes over the line? 107.3, 0.3 quicker, and he does jump Casey Jennett there and jumps up into 4th place. Casey down to 5th for the time being. Okay, Corby on the lap. Williams duo then. We're riding on board with the second of the Williams duo for the evening. Corby 107.8, so half a second off his teammate at this moment in time, and as looks like he's bailing. He is bailing on this particular lap, so we'll catch up with him a little bit later on. Okay, we've got cars coming thick and fast now. 4 minutes left in this session. Your boy Bizen on a lap at the moment, just rounding the final corner then, and let's see him across the line in the Ferrari. Scarlet Ferrari with the matte look to it this year. Let's see if they play around next year. Your boy Bizen does not improve. In fact, I think he went for a double warm-up lap there, almost looking at the time deltas. But we'll see if he does have a little bit of a push on this lap. We'll watch through the first sector. There we go, so he's slightly up in the first sector of his initial run pace. And we've got this NX Josh coming over the line as well, 107.7 so far, and in fact he's bailed into the pit lane, and one of the McLarens, the McLaren of Kimi, just starting his lap as he crosses the line. Okay, right on board with your boy Bizanet, just coming up through the final part of the track and heading down towards the line. Is he going to improve on a 108.7 so far? He's nicely tucked in. He's certainly going to improve by the looks of it. He does a 108.4, so almost 3/10 there, jumping him up to 14th for the time being. Still some work to be done. Now then, we have got the Mercedes of Jimmy, the current pole sitter, out on his outlap, so we'll catch up with him shortly. Going to ride on board then with Kimmy, next car that will cross the line. He's on a invalidated lap, in fact, and has Louis B behind, who has not yet set a lap time, so hopefully Kimmy will get well out of the way when the Alpha driver does catch him in a moment or two, although a little bit offline there, and had to lift out on the curb. Not using any ERS at the minute, in fact, so is he using this as a build-up lap? Very odd to see no ERS movement for the Alpha driver, unless he doesn't realise it is available to him. He just put a time on the board of 1:12.5, but yeah, not using any ERS. Really odd there for Louis B, and the Alpha driver staying at the back of the grid, and the one and only Alpha for this evening. Okay, so we've got Jimmy PSV on a lap now. This is his final attempt to improve his time for pole position. He does go purple in the middle sector, currently 2.5 quicker than he went on the initial pace. What is this time going to be? Is he going to dip just into the 106s on this lap as he comes to round the line? 106.8 for Jimmy, and that is 3/10 clear. Keon Stevens, can he respond? He's on an outlap at the minute, but in a little bit of traffic. Got a minute to get to the line, so plenty of time. But surely he's going to want to be free of traffic for his lap. I think he's just letting Casey there through. No, Casey's actually on an outlap. Very cheeky of Casey, trying to get through there. But yeah, that certainly does not surprise me, knowing Casey and racing against him many times, including last night. We've got a Haas off there, is it? No, it's the Alpha Romeo of Louis B, in fact, off the track in sector 3, and invalid there for Nathaniel Perrin, so we'll catch up with him a little while later as well. Kimmy just coming up to the end of the first sector, and a second slower, and not improving on this particular occasion. Okay then, Spencer Milton, one of the owners of the league, co-owner of the league with a few other members, and heading over towards the line. A lot of work to do at the minute from a 108.1. He certainly looks like he's going to improve. He certainly does a 107.7, and 4/10 quicker than he's gone so far, and jumps him up into 8th place for the time being. Which Ferrari's coming over the line? It is your boy Bizin, a 108.4 in the end, and stays 14th place. Jimmy is going into the pit lane. Who else have we got challenging? So Keon Stevens then is challenging, and he is on an invalidated lap. He cannot improve his time, and he will stay in 2nd place for the time being, unless anyone else can put the pressure on. I am Zach, next one on the road, of 107.3. Can he do anything about it? He is a 10th down at this point, and he'll do well to find that much time if he can. And no, he does bail out of it in the end. No improvements that I can see at the minute. Nathaniel on another invalidated lap, won't improve. Spencer not on a lap either, but is he on a lap? No, certainly not on the lap there. Alex Ham not on a lap either. The other Red Bull on an invalidated lap, and that is it. As we flick through, then no one else can improve on this session. That does mean Jimmy PSV in the Mercedes takes pole position, 106.8 today. Keon Stevens in the Aston Martin, a 107.1, 3/10 shy there, will take the front row start with the Mercedes. KXI in the Ferrari P3, I'm Zach P4 in the lead Williams, and Casey Jennett P5 in the Alpine. Pro Stevie in the Haas P6. So top 6 cars, 6 different manufacturers, so it should be easy to keep an eye on them into turn 1. And we're just letting the time run down as these final few guys just get over the line for today. Plenty of you watching on, and I've seen quite a bit of support out there for your boy Bison once again. I know he's got quite a good fan club and following going on. If you haven't already subscribed, like to subscribe, and it'll pop up with many other events as well as we go through the week. Sunday night racing with the Continental F1 League, obviously commentary with the Dragon Force Racing League on a Monday night, as we are right now, as we follow through Season 9, and on Tuesday night, Shadow Wolf Racing, where I race in the one and only tier in that particular league. There we are then, final standings from qualifying, and just a few moments before we load into the race. Tight start in your league, yeah, definitely was. Yeah, you're definitely right there. Keon, I must admit, I really do hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Obviously, it is quite hard with the number of names and how quick I have to churn it off tip of my tongue. 5 seconds then, drivers just selecting their chosen strategy for this evening's race and their fuel load. Any final tweaks to the tyre pressures or front wings as we see them take to the formation lap. So a few drivers in here really going to be hoping they can get a clean race tonight after a few disasters in the first couple of races for certain drivers. Casey Jennett has had a little bit of a rocky start, certainly got the pace, but been caught up in a few incidents along the way, so he'll be hoping for a very clean race tonight, and certainly a podium challenger along with those that have got the one lap speed. It is all about consistency. Pro Stevie in the Haas, very impressive actually to see him in 6th place. Normally qualifies a little bit further down and then comes through in the race, so good to see him so far up, and maybe he can push for the podium as well. Maybe catching on the back of Casey and following through might be a good option for the Haas driver. Spencer Milton had absolute disaster in his first 2 races, starting in 9th place today in the midfield pack there in the AlphaTauri, so hopefully you see him move up through. Corby in the Williams took a surprise win in Season 8. Let's see if he's got an opportunity to replicate that this evening. Certainly looks like a dry race, so not much in terms of strategy. Majority will try and push for a one-stop. The soft runners going for hards around lap 12 or 13, or will they try and drag it out to a 2-stop and go soft medium, or soft medium even on this Brazilian circuit at Sao Paulo? Can really depend on the first couple of laps. High chance of a safety car through the centre S's at the start of the Grand Prix, so we'll keep an eye out. We're going to ride on board from 3rd position and the Ferrari of KXI as we head down into turn 1. Ladies and gentlemen, race 3 of Season 9 in Dragon Force Racing League, and we're in Brazil. We've got 5 lights. Lights out and away we go. That's a very long hold on the lights. No jump starts there though. All very clean away, and a great start by KXI in the Ferraris. Head into turn 1, trying to go around the outside of the Aston Martin, and can he do so? No, but in the second phase he does come out on top. Who's going to get a better drive down the straight? And there we are, KXI already up in 2nd place. Keon there having to tuck in and try and get a slipstream down into turn 4. And everyone seems to be away cleanly, other than Kimi, who is out of the race already during the centre S's and bringing out a virtual safety car. So set time delta after just 4 corners of this Brazilian Grand Prix. We've got Delanish in the Haas there, maybe got caught up as well. He's only lost 2 places, however, so that could be overtakes, but we'll try and keep an eye on that, see if he can come back through. So it looks like we're ready to have a battle up the top end. KXI getting past Keon Stevens and the better start as the track goes green again. Let's ride on board and see what is happening. Who's going to get the better exit? Keon in the Aston Martin, then trying to get onto the back of KXI into the slipstream. And how are we looking? Let's look at the telemetry just to keep an eye out. Not using too much ERS there, but Jimmy PSV 1:21.5 obviously is the initial pace and initial lap, so we don't read too much into that at this moment in time. Okay, biggest gainer as well. Louis B going up 4 places in 15th is actually the biggest gainer, and only real loser on that was Kimi in the McLaren. Let's have a look what battles we have got on track then. Nathaniel Perrin in the Mercedes, having a little look at the Red Bull of Zenix Josh then, and they're a little bit stuck behind Pro Stevie at the minute, but I'm sure they'll give him a challenge in a couple of laps time. At the start of the next lap, DRS will be activated. You've got 2 main DRS zones here, one down the start finish straight as you crest the hill, and one from the back end of the centre S's, and that is ZX Josh round. And is he out? No, but has he taken damage? In fact, it doesn't look like he has from his front wing, but that is disaster for ZX Josh there, all the way down to 15th place after that spin. And Keon Stevens trying to fight back to KXI, using a bit of ERS as they head down the main straight. Can he make a late lunge into turn 1? No, he can't on this particular lap. He's just having to yield for the time being. He will get DRS though from this next straight as they go around the corner. Keeping a look behind. There we go. The DRS flap on the back of the car open, and the overspeed will carry him past the Ferrari driver. Can he do it on the brakes? He certainly can. Keeps it nice and tidy, and top 3 back as they started the Grand Prix. Casey Jennett then in the Alpine. I said he needed a good race. He is still in 5th from the start of the Grand Prix, but just eyeing up the back of that Williams now and seeing what he can do, as those further ahead have been fighting though. These guys have managed to close the gap, and now we're into a 4-way little battle going on here, and I'm sure this will go on for a little while. You might see something called a DRS train. Those that don't know, those that sit within a second of each other all get DRS. It doesn't give any benefit to each other other than the lead driver that does not get DRS is a little bit of a sitting duck, so we'll keep an eye on it as we go through this race. There we are. I'm Zach having a little bit of a look. The Ferrari having a little bit of a look, but no one able to do anything at this moment in time. And around we go once again. I'm Zach ever close to the Ferrari. Slightly better exit as well, but again too far back to do anything. Okay, a little bit further on in the field, your boy Bizen having a little bit of a look at the AlphaTauri of Alex Ham. DRS opened, and there we go, the Red Bull, no DRS there, really under pressure, but fights it well and just holds on to 10th place. But a cork in the bottle, Alex Ham and the AlphaTauri fighting hard to get by, and your boy Bizen just backing out, so he doesn't want to get caught up in any drama from these guys. Although behind he has got to be careful. Viper and the McLaren just starting to close the gap now. And there we are, that is how close your boy Bizen is to the AlphaTauri as he goes down the inside. Absolutely great move there by the Ferrari driver, and through into 11th place. Alex Ham not only trying to fight the sister team of the Red Bull to get through, but now has to fight the Ferrari as well. And there is the papaya orange McLaren in the background of Viper, closing that gap down. Dan Murphy making a move from the back of the grid up to 14th place, 1.2 behind this battle. I'm sure he'll be catching up very soon. Zenix Josh fighting the Aston Martin of Dan Murphy and going back into 14th place after losing the position there. And off he goes again. Can Dan Murphy do anything? He will have DRS down this straight. Going to keep an eye on it. We've got a who's that coming up behind? It is one of the Alpines, and the Aston Martin is through. Is there enough room there? Pushing the Red Bull wide, and Dan Murphy back through once again. I've got battles up and down the field. I'll try my best to keep up with them all, and keep an eye on these position changes that we have on screen. But for the time being, I think these guys are now settled down. Knowsley in the Alpine just closing into the back of this battle as well. So front and rear of this grid, there are plenty of battles to be had. Zenix Josh on the soft tyres compared to the Alpine's mediums. However, those soft tyres will be starting to go off already. Spencer Milton looks like he's been in trouble once again. He's run off in the final part of the sector and down to 16th place. A lot of work to do once again for the AlphaTauri driver. Okay then, Pro Stevie in the Haas having a little bit of a look at the Mercedes of Nathaniel Perrin. Can't do anything for now. We'll pick up the DRS though down the second DRS straight. Can he do anything? Oh, he's slipped away a little bit through the centre S's, but he's closing and closing with the overspeed. Can he do anything into turn 4? No, he can't. Indy just bails for the time being and yields back. Okay, up front then, same old. Top 3, top 4, top 5 drivers are all in the same order that they started this Grand Prix. KXI still trying to put the pressure on Keon, but unable to do much about the Aston Martin driver for the time being, and he's driving like his life is. Sebastian Vettel back in Hungary, where he put on a superb race earlier in the season. All this is bringing the Williams of I'm Zach closer behind, and Casey Jennett in the Alpine. So certainly some battles to be had. I'm going to keep an eye out as well, see if we get any pits anytime soon. Some of those soft runners may opt for an early stop. We'll try and keep an eye on who bails first. There we go, so we'll keep an eye on that for you. And there we are, KXI making a move. Can he make it stick into turn 4? He has to go the long way around, but Keon again managed to fend off the Ferrari. And these two, I really do think this could go for a while. Pro Stevie being passed by Nathaniel Perrin. Now, Nathaniel was in front at the first point, so I'm not sure where the Haas driver got through, but we'll ride on board for a couple of moments, see if the Haas can get back through. The Mercedes driver there, nicely taken and defended, and hitting the apexes very, very nicely indeed, just giving a little bit of margin to those curbs to save any instant or wheel spin off them, and getting lovely drives. He heads into the back end of the lap. I think the Haas driver is going to have to settle for the time being. I am Zach now, the closest he has been to the back of the Ferrari, within 2/10, picks up DRS, got a much better exit as well. He's going to challenge KXI into turn 1. Here we go, they are battling. We're going to watch it from the back. A little bit of light contact there, I believe. As we're right on board with Casey Jennett, really getting a little bit out of line there through the first phase of the centre S's. But again, bringing the Alpine driver ever closer to this battle up ahead. I am Zach, not giving up on this battle. This is going to be a 4-way tussle for 2 places on the podium. Jimmy PSV for a note in the Mercedes out front, 4.3 second lead at the minute, and that is growing lap by lap, a couple of tenths at a time. So we'll keep an eye on that battle. Pro Stevie getting ever closer again to the Mercedes and Nathaniel, but for the time being still stuck behind in the sector 2 tight and twisty section of this particular track. Okay, a little bit further down then, Dan Murphy has made another move on the Red Bull. So Aston Martin and Red Bull having a good little battle, and Spencer then also catching up with Knowsley just behind as well. Looks like Knowsley is in a very good position actually. We'll watch him out of this final corner, see if he can get a better drive than the AlphaTauri driver. He's got a good opportunity to put the power down early, he certainly has. He will pick up DRS, as will Spencer off the Red Bull. So let's see how this pans out as they head down to turn 1. And yeah, I think the Alpine driver just a little bit too far back, with the fact that both cars there had DRS assistance. Can he do anything out of turn 3? And yes, again, Spencer there made a great little exit. In fact, is going to look at the Red Bull, but not able to do anything with the sister team for the time being. And Spencer getting all out of sorts there on the exit, but managed to catch it. Well done. And as they are for now, this battle for P11, not even for the points. And you can see how much these drivers really do want to make amends, some of them, for previous races, and others just want to challenge and get up in those points. as far as possible. Obviously strategy does play into it. We're keeping an eye out. Alex Ham has made his first stop of the evening, dropping him down to the back of the grid, 17th place, 15 seconds off the pack, but obviously on a fresh set of tyres now. Let's have a look what he's on, and he's gone to the medium tyre, so probably a 2-stop for the second of the 2 AlphaTauris on track for the time being. Okay, Knowsley going for the pass, and the second AlphaTauri is in the pit lane. So that's an easy pass in the end for the Alpine driver, although he's right on the back of the battle with Yabizan and Poropazetto. So we'll ride on board with that. I am Zach within a 10th now of KXI up the front. We'll try and ride on board with this battle, and he looks down the inside. Lovely move. Can he make it stick? The Ferrari of KXI coming back through, flicking to and from, trying to keep with the drivers, and KXI just about hanging on, but really struggling against the Williams now. Now both these drivers I believe are on the soft tyre as well, so are we going to see any of these bail into the pit lane at this point? Let's keep an eye on them and see. Casey Jennett right on the back now on the soft tyre yet again. So who is going to bail out of these? 1, 2, 3. It's the Alpine of Casey Jennett that decides it is time to go in the pits, looking for the undercut. We'll jump back up to that battle for second place. KXI round the outside, and then what turns out to be the inside of Keon Stevens. And does he pick up DRS because of the detection point? No, he doesn't. He's now a sitting duck. Can he get a double pass on him? Keon Stevens is through. Williams of I Am Zach through as well. Just a little bit of a love tap to Keon there. That might need looking at after. He needs to give that position back, I Am Zach, or that will be investigated, I'm sure, after the race. That did cost position. But KXI there losing 2 places at once after amazing defending. Now finds himself at the back of this trio for the time being. Now we're all eyes on Casey Jennett. He is in the midfield in 11th place. Let's see where these guys come out in relative. Corby, 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. So that's 2 warnings. Third strike is the 3-second time penalty there, and the first penalty we have seen so far this evening. Nathaniel Perrin and Spencer Milton both been into the pit lane as well and dropped to 14th, 15th at the moment respectively. Okay, Keon Stevens then having another look at the Williams arms. Zach, he is going to go for a lunge into turn 1. Can he hold the inside line given the squeeze by the Williams driver? And not able to do anything at the moment. He will get DRS again down into turn 4 as they come over the DRS line. DRS wide open, and not much the Williams driver can do there. A little bit naughty and a little bit late on the move in there from I Am Zach, but all starts well. I would say ends well, but I Am Zach making an absolutely superb move and dive back down the inside there to retake second place. And can Keon now keep those tyres alive and fight back, or is he going to call it quits and bail on this particular lap? We're also looking at our leader Jimmy PSV there in the lead, 7 seconds clear. He is on the soft tyre. Is he going to bail out soon and get stuck in traffic, or is he going to go for as long as possible and wait for these guys behind to bite the bullet first? We will see. KXI now getting back on this little battle we've got going on for second place. Casey also about to start making a move on your boy Bizon on the other Ferrari. He's got a few cars lined up. He's going to want to make his way through pretty smart. He is on the hard tyre, looking to go to the end of this Grand Prix, although with a new set of mediums available, I'm sure he's going to try and utilise them if there is a safety car period at some point. And as the Alpine driver absolutely flies by there, and through he goes for the time being. Can he make it a double overtake and go round the outside of the Red Bull on the hard tyres? He certainly can. Those fresh hard tyres working wonders for the Alpine, and up into 8th place. Really important for him on the exit. He has got KXI on the exit. Has he managed to jump him in the pits? He certainly has, and that has worked really well there. And not only has he got in front, KXI is now stuck in traffic. The undercut has worked for Casey Jennett up to 7th place. Where will he come out against the likes of Keon and I Am Zach? Well, we'll see in a few laps time when these guys decide to quit fighting and pit in. It can't be long now. 13 laps plus qualifying on these tyres, so they're around 15-16 laps old. These guys must be thinking about boxing. Anyone going to take a punt this time? Race leader stays out. So it's not our race leader, do apologise. Keon Stevens takes the dive in. I'm Zach stays out. Keon going for the undercut on the Williams then, as we take a moment to ride on board with our race leader, Jimmy. 7 seconds out in front there, and still to stop on the soft tyre, so doing incredibly well to keep that tyre alive for the time being. And yeah, quite nice to see that. Safety car would be nice at this point. Let's see how we get on. Your boy Bison up to 9th. Looks like he's starting to challenge and get into a little bit of a pack here. I think he's in a bit of a DRS train at the minute, in fact, and his teammate only 2 places ahead, but he has already stopped compared to the Red Bull and Ferrari duo running around together at the moment. Casey Jenny up to 5th place as Keon has stopped. He has jumped Keon and KXI. So that early stop really has helped him, but is he going to be a little bit vulnerable later on in this Grand Prix? KXI choosing the medium tyre there and opting for a 2-stop strategy compared to Keon and Casey on the 1-stop. Casey then now trying to chase down his teammate in the way of Nosley, who has yet to stop and has a time penalty there for good measure. He is on the medium tyre, so he will try and go long, but Casey on those new hard tyres I'm sure will go further on. Zenix Josh there picking up a 3-second time penalty as well, and Casey there going around the outside of his teammate with the assistance of DRS and pops up into 4th place then as he's released to chase after Dan Murphy in the Aston Martin, who is yet to stop. When these guys do stop then, will he jump I am Zach? I think he will. I think Casey is sat 2nd on the road when the top 2 of the top 3 do make their first and probably only pit stops. Presume Casey will be sat 2nd on the road at the minute too, Jimmy, so a very good strategy by Casey so far this evening. Hopefully he can keep it clean and we'll see him up on the podium later on. Nosley then, teammate, just not letting go of the back of his teammate there. Will probably pick up DRS. He's inside the 1 second margin, but how are those medium tyres feeling? And surely you can't take them to soft, so surely he'll be in sooner than later and box for the hard tyre. Not boxing for the time being. No staying out. He's got the DRS advantage now as well, but too far back, and I don't think he's going to challenge his teammate too hard at this point. Into the pits comes I am Zach, and I would say we're watching for him, but he's been and gone. We're looking at his pit box for some apparent reason there. He is back on track. There we are. I'm Zach rejoined in 7th place, so the undercut definitely worked as the battle for 2nd place. Casey, KXI, Keon and I am Zach earlier on. I am Zach stayed out the longest, and well, those that pitted earlier came out in front. Dan Murphy then 3 seconds off the provisional race lead, obviously still yet to stop in this race though. Is he going to try and go deep to the soft tyre? We expect so. He did start on mediums, but they were fresh as he didn't take part in qualifying today. Nosley has still yet to stop in 4th place as well. KXI then starting to put pressure on the Alpine duo and closing that gap. He will now also have benefit of DRS. Nosley still yet to stop, so the fresher tyres on KXI should see him pass very easily. Maybe not right now, but maybe down into turn 4 with the DRS assistance, although Nosley keeps getting DRS there off his teammate, and that is not helping the Ferrari driver right now. But Casey could be a sitting duck as we go down the main straight. Yeah, Casey there having to yield and buy his time. KXI has followed through and jumped Casey then, but KXI, is he going to go for a 2-stop strategy on those medium tyres? We shall see. He's certainly got some work to do if he wants to make that 2-stop work, and he needs to get past the Alpine of Nosley sooner than later, so it doesn't cost him too much time. Now then, Keon on the hard tyres as well as Casey, and Casey is off. Casey he's managed to catch it, but he is now down another place and at the back of that group again. Right snap of oversteer there as he rode the curb through the winding S's, and right, he's certainly got some work to do now. So then we've got the Red Bull of Poro Pensato running in P8 at the minute, yet stop. Is he going to box on this lap on the medium tyre? No, he's not. He's going to drag it out as late as possible. Everyone has made their first stop, bar... let's have a look. Yeah, just the 3 drivers to yet make a stop. KXI taking a 3-second time penalty, and these guys are going to go neck to neck. The Ferrari looking to go down the inside of the Alpine driver. Not able to hold it on this occasion, but those newer tyres definitely sticking them up. Keon Stevens, 3-second time penalty. So these guys all starting to get time penalties now. Just I'm Zach that hasn't out of this battle we've got going on for the podium. Dan Murphy trying to make this one-stop work, going very deep into this race. That car behind is a lapped car of Delaniche, so please do not worry about the lapped Haas in the background of Dan Murphy. 5.5 seconds shy of Jimmy now, and Jimmy has made his stop for the race. I do think he's going to have to go on to a set of softs a little bit later on. We've got yellow flags in Sector 1. It is one of the Red Bulls. It is Zenix Josh, and he's out of the Grand Prix. Don't know quite what's happened there. There he is, stranded. It looks like he's through the centre S's. I don't know whether he had contact or not. He didn't look that close to anyone. And it's not brought out a safety car, which is very, very surprising, in fact. Track now green and clear as we go racing again. Just 2 cars we lost so far from this Grand Prix. The Red Bull of Zenix Josh, and on the first lap by turn 3, Kimi in the McLaren. Red Bull not having a good day of it, considering P8 at the minute, and still a stop to be taken there. And the other McLaren down in 14th place. Both teams really struggling today. McLaren still on 0 points for the season, and as it stands I can't see that altering today unless something very drastic does happen. Okay then, back on board with this gigantic battle we've got for the podium this evening. Then at the front we've got Knowlesley with a stop to be taken and 3-second time penalty. KXI is now sitting effectively 3rd on the track and putting the challenge on as he goes round the outside with DRS assistance of the Alpine. Keon Stevens going down the inside, and these guys fighting it out, and KXI and Keon there not wanting to get held up through that battle. Now Keon is also going to have the fresh tyres and DRS here. Is he going to try and make a lunge on the Ferrari? He certainly is, and round the outside the Aston Martin driver does go. Can he hold it round the outside? He certainly can, and both drivers giving each other plenty of space there. We are now back in order that we started this Grand Prix. Keon in front of KXI there. I am Zach, just being held up a little bit by Knowlesley. He wants to get past the Alpine pretty quickly, I would have thought, to keep his eye in contention for those podium positions at this moment in time. Got yellow in sector 2 and 3, very quickly cleared there. Looked like it was the AlphaTauri of Spencer Milton, and he also now picks up a 3-second time penalty for good measure. So the AlphaTauris, I did say, needed a good race today, but running in 12th and 16th doesn't look like it's their day once again. Is that Knowlesley heading to the pits? It certainly is. Is he going to look for the soft tyre? He could get to the end on a fresh set of softs. Yellow sector 1. Who have we got in sector 1 on yellows? I can't see anything obvious. So we'll continue to ride on board for the time being. Okay, where is Knowlesley going to come out then? He is just heading out of the pit lane. He has now got fresh soft tyres to the end of this Grand Prix. Where is he going to come out? He's going to come out behind Spencer, and quite some seconds behind, so he's definitely got some work to do. However, some of these guys up ahead do need to make a second pit stop. I'd say Pro Stevie, next one on the track that he's going to have to probably battle, but I'm sure on those soft tyres that he should be able to close that gap very easily indeed. And Pori Panzetto still not stopped in this race, nor has Dan Murphy. Dan Murphy there, 7.8 and growing to the race leader, and still yet to stop. That's probably going to drop him outside of the points. Some work to do. Yellow in sector 2 once again. And as we say that, Dan Murphy into the pit lane, and that releases his teammate into second place. That battle is going on yet again for that podium positions, and Keon, KXI, I am Zach, Casey, do not count any of these drivers out for a podium this evening. Nathaniel there in the second of the two Mercedes. Mercedes going to be picking up absolutely brilliant points if they can continue like this. And Aston Martin also running second and seventh. Although Dan Murphy currently in the pit lane. Sector 2 and 3. And the second McLaren of Viper is out of this Grand Prix. I don't know quite what's happened to him there. And safety car is released. Those that have not yet stopped have now got almost a free stop. The Red Bull driver has just been in for his stop, and my, how this could shake up. Let's try and get to the front of the field then. Who is going to box in for the soft tyre? Are we going to see our race leader in? We certainly are. There he is, peeling off. Jimmy into the pit lane then in the Mercedes, and what a fantastic race so far. 14 seconds lead in this Grand Prix as it stands. He should be able to get in and out ahead of his main rival Keon for the time being. I believe they've all come into the pit lane. Yes, they have. Only car going through there was Louis B in the Alfa Romeo. Make sure he wasn't getting a lap there, because otherwise he would be stuck and a lap down. He has got an opportunity to catch the back of the pack. Okay then, has anyone not stopped at this point? Casey's stayed out. How bizarre. And we're going to keep an eye on the deltas here, but I do think that's a mistake there from Casey, staying out on those very used hard tyres. 11 laps old. They must be around the 25 to 30% mark now. And, well, is that a defining moment for that battle for the podium that we've seen? We'll have to see. So, our race leader on fresh soft tyres, Casey Jennett in second place, but on used hard tyres. And I do think he's going to be a sitting duck there. I think that may have been a mistake on his behalf on the strategy there. I'm sure he'll look back and tell me otherwise if he goes on to get a podium. Yeah, very, very odd call there indeed. Both Aston Martins now running third and fourth. Dan Murphy leaving it late to pit onto the soft tyre, and with the help of the safety car now sits in P3 from last on the grid, and he just gets a little bit of a love tap there from his teammate. What are these guys doing? Dan Murphy 5-second time penalty handed because Keon there running into the back of him. I'm going to presume both guys got a penalty for that. Keon didn't get a penalty. So I'll be interested to see if Dan did brake a little bit too much there suddenly. I'm sure that'll be investigated later on. Very odd indeed. Who else have we got out there on used tyres? Your boy Bizen staying out on 6-lap-old medium tyres. Again, soft runners and fresh mediums behind. Louis B on the 9-lap-old hard tyres as well. Although we do believe he is now AFK and not actually driving in this Grand Prix. So the big battle then, we have got Jimmy, we are hoping can have another amazing start, and if he gets a clean start with his pace around here, he's been absolute dynamite so far through this Grand Prix, and is looking very much set to take a victory this evening in Sao Paulo. Casey Jennett, I don't think is in contention for a podium position, if I'm completely honest at this point. The two Aston Martins are now poised at the minute on the road for potentially second and third place, and what a result that would be for the Aston Martin team. In fact, it would put them right up towards the top of I think they would be just behind the Mercedes duo on points there, and go up to second place in the constructors, if I've done my maths correctly. Both Alpines are running second and seventh as well, very well poised, but as we say, we may see Casey just drop back a little bit, and it looks like we are going one more lap indeed behind the safety car. So we'll probably go racing on lap 26. We start lap 25 right now. Yeah, lap 26 we'll go racing. That is 11 laps of racing left and a sprint to the end for the majority. Casey Jennett on those hard tyres. Those hard tyres are going to be absolutely knackered at the end. I would love to hear a word from him regarding to us his choice, and does he really think he can hold the position? If he can, fair play to him. He is very good on his defence, but I just don't think he's going to have the speed in those hard tyres later on in this Grand Prix. Especially when DRS is enabled. Obviously DRS will not be enabled for 3 laps after the safety car does come in, and we suspect it will come in this lap. Everyone now caught up then behind the safety car. Dilanish is plus 1 minute and 48. That is due to the safety car delta currently, and the fact that he is stuck in the middle of this pack and unable to overtake. So the game does not allow, therefore you cannot overtake the safety car and unlap yourself, unfortunately. Been a bug in the system really for that since Codemasters did release this particular game last July. Can you believe it? 6 months since the game actually came out. Safety car then coming up to round the final corner, and safety car is in this lap as Jimmy PSV becomes the safety car. Can he get the start he needs? Can the Aston Martin drivers get the jump on Casey on those hard tyres? KXI, can he make a dint and try and split the Aston Martins? All to come in these final 11 laps, and the Mercedes driver there, has he gone? He has gone now, and away they go once again then. Who is going to try and make a dive into turn 1? All looking nice and tidy. I think they're all going to yield their positions for the time being. They're all respecting each other nicely as we see Keon take the most of the curb. Absolutely possible there. Dan Murphy getting really close to the back of Casey and going to try and make a move pretty early on those fresh soft tyres. Can he make a move into turn 4? He's going to try and go down the inside, and Casey just does not have the grip there. And Dan Murphy is through. 2 Aston Martins now, 2nd and 4th. The second of Keon now going to try and press Casey as well, as he is also trying to make sure he doesn't get battled from the back from KXI, closing that gap down. I'm Zach behind that, and KXI just going a little love tap to Keon. Don't think that was on purpose. I think that was just their break distances, as I Am Zach goes around the outside. Does he make the move stick? Yeah, yes he does, as they come back around. And KXI really probably not happy about that, but he's having to yield now. He won't get DRS either, and now under pressure from the Mercedes and Nathaniel, the second Mercedes. Sector 3, yellow flag. We've got a car round. It is Corby that is round at the final corner. It's just a yellow flag for the time being, no safety car. And we are racing. Case Jennett now down to 4th, and both Aston Martins released into 2nd and 3rd places. Now Zach will want to get past the Aston Martin I do apologise, past the Alpine of Casey pretty smartish, so the Aston Martins can't run away at this moment in time. Obviously all on the same age tyres as well, so it is now all down to the drivers and what speed they can produce in these final 10 laps of this Brazilian Grand Prix. And cutting the corner there, I'm Zach picking up a 3-second time penalty. Now these time penalties really could have a effect on the final standings. Dan Murphy there, 10 seconds of penalties. We know 5 seconds to get removed. There Williams, I'm Zach clipping the back of Casey, and I think he might take a little bit of damage from that. Trying to ride and have a look at his wing. It's not wanting to show me that particular camera angle for the time being. Most of these guys all have a 3-second time penalty. There we go then, this is the angle we want to see, and no damage there to the front of the Williams as he tries to get past Casey now and down into turn 1. Surely he'll try and go around the outside of the Alpine. He certainly does, and they come together. Casey did give him room. He was as tight into the apex as possible, and that has caused I'm Zach to go round. I'm Zach there just closing the line, and Casey had nowhere else to go, so I'm Zach causing his own fate. Casey might have a little bit of relief now, but KXI in the Ferrari and Nathaniel right behind. These guys fighting hard, but also with the cork in a bottle of Casey. Sector 2, yellow flag. It looks like one of the Haas drivers just been for a trip in the runoff area after turn 4. That was Prestivi that had a little bit of an off down there by the looks on the track map. No, I do apologise to Prestivi, it was not. It was Dilanish there that took a trip through the runoff. And Casey holding on to 4th place at the minute, but this is holding up KXI, and these guys really are now hoping for DRS. There it is. DRS is wide open. Who's going to make the move? Nathaniel got the better exit off the final corner, run all the way down to turn 1, but not able to do anything for the time being, and he has to take to the grass to go round. A little bit too late on the brakes for Nathaniel, and he loses out of place there to Knowlesley in the Alpine, who will be saying thank you very much and taking full advantage. Pori Penzetto getting a 3-second time penalty for good measure is down in 11th place, just closing up on your boy Bizen in fact, and going around the Ferrari driver up into 10th place, but has got a penalty there, so let me just get my ways round. Yeah, so the Red Bull driver does need to pull 3 seconds over your boy Bizen for the time being. Your boy Bizen potentially could still score points this evening. Anything can happen. Nathaniel now at the back of this little train going on. KXI out the front. KXI now 3 seconds behind the Aston Martin duo, and Dan Murphy now starting to challenge for the lead of this Grand Prix. Jimmy looks so well set for a victory before that safety car. Dan Murphy now brought into contention and challenging in DRS of the Mercedes driver, and this really could go down to the wire, taking all the curb. Dan Murphy 10 seconds time penalties, 5 seconds I presume will be removed. That is up to the race stewards at the end of this Grand Prix, but 5 seconds will stand, so he will need to find 5 seconds on the Mercedes driver over the remaining 7 laps of this Grand Prix. It really is going to be down to the wire. Knowlesley getting passed by the other Mercedes of Nathaniel then, and movement in the background. Casey getting overtaken by Spencer in the AlphaTauri after a poor start for Spencer Milton, now starting to make his way through the field on those soft tyres. This really has benefited, and Casey Jennett is round. That is him. Is he out of the Grand Prix? No, he's not. He's taking a whack to the back of the car. He does get going, but now outside of the points, and we did say it was a bit risky staying out on those hard tyres. Surely now we'll see him in and potentially go for the fastest lap. Let's see. Knowlesley in the Alpine, getting right on the back of the Mercedes and Nathaniel, but at the same time just behind that I'm Zach getting onto the back of the AlphaTauri of Spencer. Which group are going to go first? The Alpine is going to go round the outside and certainly does so. Behind that I am Zach goes round and down the inside of Spencer. Spencer getting a much better exit through the centre exits though, gets DRS as well and should find an easy overtake on Imzak, although Imzak does have the DRS there as well. Spencer had a much better exit through the centre exits and up into 7th place for the time being. Nathaniel now trying to fight his way back past the Alpine and trying to buy his time there, but nothing he can do through this sector of the track. Jimmy has been overtaken for the race lead by Dan Murphy then. 7 tenths Dan has managed to pull so far. Jimmy going to pick up the slipstream and DRS now for good measure to keep him in contention. Remember, Dan has got to get a minimum of 5 seconds up the road to take victory this evening. It does say 10 seconds, but 5 will be removed at the end of this Grand Prix after his teammate did hit him from behind during the safety car period. Nathaniel now challenging under DRS the Alpine, but again still nothing he can do. We'll watch him through the centre S's and through the next DRS zone. He's not quite close enough, I don't think, but did get slightly better exit than the Alpine. Is he going to try looking down the inside? He's a little bit too far back on this occasion and stays where he is, down in 6th place for the time being. Delanish 3-second time penalty to add to his woes this evening. 33 seconds behind Corby for the time being. Alright then, 5 laps remaining, including the lap that we are on, as we see our leaders heading towards the final corner once again. Just 4 more laps of this Grand Prix. Jimmy staying in contention for a on-track race victory, although we expect to be granted race victory anyway due to penalties. Now Keon Stevens in the background, don't write him off here for a 2nd place. Due to the time penalties, he is getting within the distance of that time penalty. He has got 6 seconds himself, but he can stay within 4 seconds of his teammate, which is the race leader. he could be on for second place here. Spencer, 3-second time penalty as well, 9 seconds there. He's looking a little bit vulnerable for another position he could potentially lose as we go through. Let's have a look. Spencer there, he's closing the gap on I'm Zach once again. I'm Zach started really strong in this. It doesn't seem to have quite the same pace in these last few laps of this Grand Prix as we watch them around and around they go. And I don't know about you guys at home watching on, but I certainly get very dizzy watching all these guys going in circles for 36 laps, plus the qualifying laps that we ride on board with. But always a pleasure on a Monday night, and certainly one of the highlights of my week. And Spencer now outside of the DRS zone, so not going to help him for his battle. And he looks poised to be sat in 8th place, and I don't think there's much he can do at this moment in time unless there's a mistake ahead. Closest battle on track then is in fact for the race lead, 6/10 from Dan Murphy to Jimmy in P2. And he would love the race victory that he will be granted based on penalties at the minute, but I'm sure he would love even more to do it on track to solidify it and show everyone at home what he's made of. He had an absolutely superb pole lap, 3/10 quicker than any other driver, and he had a superb race if not for that safety car. However, Formula 1 is unpredictable. You never know when a safety car may be released. It may be to your advantage or that of your competitor. It's all about strategy and what ifs until it actually happens. The world of Formula 1, a cruel place to be at certain times. Closest battle on track then, your boy Bison getting close to the back of Casey Jennett, and Casey Jennett with a red X there. That means he has left this session. Very odd indeed. He had an absolutely brilliant race, but looks like he has called it a day there, Casey, outside of the points. And yeah, the Alpine driver again, look, not going his way in the end of this Grand Prix. Your boy Bison then up into 10th place, and he could potentially get up to 9th if he can get a move on and catch the Red Bull driver. He only needs to be within 3 seconds based on the time penalties at the moment, and in fact he is almost within time penalty window of Spencer Milton as well, so we could see your boy Bison pick up a couple of positions sooner than later. Okay then, so at the top Jimmy has got back past under DRS. I do apologise, I did not see that happen. I don't know whether Dan Murphy maybe made a mistake. Dan will get the DRS though down the main straight, and we are about to start the final lap of this Grand Prix. Jimmy is back in the lead from pole position, leading this Grand Prix for the majority. It was a dominating drive until that safety car. He's certainly had a challenge on his hands from the Aston Martin driver since, and the Aston Martin driver one main attempt now. He has got DRS wide open. Can he do anything on this final attempt and final run down to turn 4? He's a little bit too far back, well defended by Jimmy as they round turn 4, heading into the winding sector 2. And the Aston Martin driver going to try anything. He's going to try popping his nose left, popping his nose right. Can he throw a dummy to the Mercedes driver on this final lap? We are going to ride on board. It will be for track position. However, Dan Murphy will not get the win either way, but these guys wheel to wheel racing has been fantastic today. But Jimmy also getting my vote of driver of the day for such a demanding and dominant drive. Yet he's had some work to do in this last part of the Grand Prix. Looks like Jimmy will just about hold on to it on track, and Jimmy in the Mercedes comes over the line to take the checkered flag and take the race win. That is pole and the win for the Mercedes driver. Across the line in P2, Dan Murphy, and P3, Keanu Stevens. That is Aston Martin 2 and 3. Absolutely amazing result for the team. KXI has to settle for 4th place. I'm sure the Ferrari driver will be very happy in the end with that outcome for the race. Nathaniel there in the second of the Mercedes in P5. So Mercedes and Aston Martin, both cars in the top 5. Absolutely fantastic, and that really can shape up the points nicely. Knowsley in the Alpine P6. I'm Zach P7. in the Williams. He has crossed the line and then come to a stop. Very, very odd. And cars running into him behind. I think he has crossed the line, just to make it very clear. And there will be a pile up now. There we go, and we'll just wait for final classification as the game goes absolutely berserk at the end there with all these cars driving. Dan Murphy getting driver of the day from the back of the grid. He has done a superb job, I must admit, from the back. I do think the safety car was really beneficial to Dan Murphy there, and gave him the option to challenge for the race victory. Did pop him ahead of his teammate as well, which I'm sure Kean wouldn't have expected earlier on this Grand Prix. But they are Mercedes on top, and with an Aston Martin on either shoulder, and this championship certainly livening up to be a very, very tight championship indeed if it continues in this manner for the rest of the season. That is the third race of season 9. 9 more races to go within the season. And wow, we've seen some action already. There we are then, final confirmation of the win there, and also fastest lap there for our pole sitter, race winner and fastest lap, a 1:08.543, 4 thousandths faster than Dan Murphy in the Aston Martin for fastest lap there. So very, very tight. These guys really were putting the power down. Your boy Bizen there rounding the points out. Really do feel for Casey. Pro Stevie, not 100% sure why actually happened to him. We did see him run wide towards the back end of the Grand Prix, and I do think the timing of the safety car did not go in his favour this evening. And a few non-finishes there. Both McLaren's, Viper and Kimi. Zenix Josh in the Red Bull, and Alex Ham in the AlphaTauri failing to finish the race this evening respectively for whatever reasons they may have had. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in and watching the Dragon Force Racing League's Brazilian Grand Prix for round 9. For those of you that want to ride on board and see my racing tomorrow, God help me, it will be an onboard of myself racing. We will also be racing Brazil, believe it or not, in Shadow Wolf Racing tomorrow night. So feel free to tune in then, like, subscribe for notifications, and we'll be back with you next week for race 4 within the DFRL racing season. Just having a quick look through and having a look at the calendar. So then next week we are in... I'm trying to read the calendar to apologise for my poor eyesight. What were we this week? So we are... there we are. So yeah, race 4, China next week. Followed by Singapore, and then Saudi Arabia on 20th of December. Now that will be quite interesting. I haven't had a chance to commentate nor race the Saudi Arabia circuit yet. Only just been added, and obviously Formula 1 goes to Saudi Arabia this week. So very interesting to see the circuit, how the actual F1 drivers get on, and then we'll see how the professionals in Dragon Force Racing League get on in a few weeks' time there. We will race on the 27th of December, and then back with you for the 3rd of January in Abu Dhabi for race 8 of the season. And the season will round off in Great Britain, race 12 of the season on the 31st of January. The season will come to a close, and hopefully we'll be able to take it down to the wire with our drivers for the season. But yeah, once again, thank you very much for watching. It's been a pleasure, and we'll see you next week.